So let's just dig into it. How does the A.L.I.V.E active shooter program work? How does the instructor program work? So if I was Joe Blow off the streets and I was like, I think I want to get involved in helping people survive active shooter events, what would they need to know about your program?
Well, my program is based on 5 steps that I created. And, 20 plus years ago, Homeland Security created Run, Hide, Fight.
Yeah.
And Run, Hide, Fight, if that's all you know, that's better than nothing, because most people know nothing. And so most people do nothing when one of these events happens, and doing nothing will get you killed.
Right.
But any first version of anything is not perfect. It's the first version. And then you find out what's wrong with it as you use it. Well, we have found out that there's some things in Run, Hide, Fight and some of the other courses out there that maybe aren't quite perfect yet. They're not hopefully, what we would want them to be yet. And in my opinion, when I started, the reason this whole course came about is because I became frustrated and angry, and I felt a sense of hopelessness because I was watching videos of active shooter events, and people were doing nothing or the wrong thing. And I was thinking to myself, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Assuming that they should know. Well, they didn't grow up with a dad that's former military, former law enforcement. I literally had a security and survival mindset beat into me from birth. Okay, it's all I've ever known. Most people don't have the benefit of that. And so I'm thinking, well, for selfish reasons, I wanted to satisfy this angst within myself and teach these people. I'm like, if I could only have a few minutes with you, I could teach you what to do, and then you wouldn't die.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to learn how to teach active shooter survival. And so I started taking trainer courses. And after about the fourth one, I was sitting in a 2-day course on how to teach active shooter survival. And I was shaking my head going, this isn't bad, but it's not what I would do. Here's a deficit here. The acronym is out of order, and escape is the E, and that's the last thing, but really that's the first thing you want to consider.
Right.
So I'm literally in the second day of this class, and I started just scribbling down acronyms and the words that I would use for the acronyms. And I thought A.L.I.V.E is the perfect acronym because I want to teach people how to stay alive.
Yeah.
And that's how I came up with A.L.I.V.E, which stands for assess, leave, impede, violence, and expose. And from there, I was feverish. I got so excited. I was like, oh my God, this is what I want. And this is what people need. And so I built the course, and I started teaching it in 2014. And in 2015, one of the employers that hired me to come in and give the course, there was about 87 people in that class. Well, 2 years after that, I got an email from a woman named Liz Moreno. And she said, hey, you probably don't remember me, but my employer hired you to teach us. And a week ago on October 1st, 2017, I was at the Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas Route 91 Music Festival massacre. And she spelled out in her email what happened and her thought process. And when this happened and they realized it wasn't fireworks, it was an active shooter, she said, we were on the ground and I was covering my head with my arms and immediately remembered your course and became calm. And at that point I knew what to do. And I turned to my boyfriend and said, we've got to go. We've got to leave. We've got to get out of here. And they're on the ground with a bunch of people in front of the stage where a lot of people ended up dying, wounded and dying. And he said, no, let's just stay here. We got to stay low. We'll stay on the ground. And she said, sorry, dude, I'm leaving. When the shooting stops, I'm leaving. And that's what they did. And so she told me in her email, and it was awesome. It was, I've had 2 kids, and though I didn't do the hard part, I had a lot to do with those 2 kids being born. Mm-hmm. That was the most satisfying experience of my life. The second is when this woman looked me in the eye and said, what you taught me saved my life. Wow. I mean, dude, that'll change your fucking life.
Absolutely.
It was profound. And at that point, I came back to my companies. And I told my executive staff, you guys need to start figuring out how to run the day-to-day operations without me, because I am focusing everything on A.L.I.V.E from this point forward. And that's what I did. I'm still involved in my businesses. They get done. Things get done the way I want them done after, it's a 53-year-old business that my dad started. I've been doing it for 35 years. Wow. But 90% of my time is focused on A.L.I.V.E active shooter survival.
That's outstanding. No, I love that. The payoff of having someone come to you and say, because of your influence in my life, these results, this is the fruit, or I'm still here, is one of the most valuable things and experiences I think a human can have. It's got to be like top 5. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find some of the best protectors really live for empowering other people to be able to protect themselves. That's like a theme that I see when we do podcasts and interviews and stuff like that. A.L.I.V.E is the name of the product. And then what's your company name and everything that?
Well, I mean, I've got MPS Security and Protection and National Business Investigations, but A.L.I.V.E is really its own company now.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about MPS Security and Protection, the fact that I've been doing EP and investigations for fucking 35 years, you can do that if that even add any credibility to the thing, because I am coming from a place that all these guys are coming from. I've been there. I've done the work. I understand it. It's just, this is where my passion is now. This is where I'm putting all my effort.
Right.
And the instructor certification course is, it's a great product. It's a moneymaker for every one of those guys that's going to attend.
Yeah.
Unless they're working EP for Facebook,
yeah.
They can't go out. They could still go out on the weekends and teach this course and make a shitload of money. So really, these guys, what I teach, it's business in a box. It really is. I spent 2 days teaching these guys how to market and sell, talk about their insurance coverage they need. We do a full hour and a half on marketing, which they can use for their regular core business of private investigations, executive protection, security, whatever they do. We've got all the support, an instructor portal back end that these guys use for all the support they need. I give them the PowerPoint. These guys could literally, they graduate on a Saturday night. They could go out on Monday and give the course. They'll have everything they need. Wow. I give them everything.
Wow. And how long have you been doing business, just so people can understand your acumen?
Well, I've been investigations, and I've been doing security and investigations since I was 16 years old.
Right.
So, but the course I started developing in 2013, and I put it together and launched it in 2014.
Wow. And I think it's important for everyone to understand that, like, you're not just a security professional who's been doing this, for essentially my whole lifetime, 35 years. But you're also a businessman. I remember we did an episode, we talked about business, efficacy and good practices and things like that. That's something that you're also well respected for. So when you say business in a box, that's a very valuable statement coming from someone who's been in the game and has been doing good in the game for a long time. I think now it's more important in a lot of ways, because I think there are a lot of courses out there where people learn cool things. But they don't learn really how to apply those cool things or how to make those cool things profitable. That's kind of what I'm saying is really valuable about this course. Not only the content, but the fact that, you're also going to teach people how to implement it and actually help it help their bottom line in their life. It's another income stream.
Yeah, it really is. And my instructors, I've got the online course, my instructors, when they become instructors, they automatically become affiliates. So if they're trying to sell the in-person training and the HR person or risk manager or company owner says, well, I don't really want it in person, I'd really rather have something online where they can take it from their computer. When my affiliates sell a program, they get 50% of anything they sell, and they don't do any work. I've developed it. I host it, everything. It costs me 10 cents per user. So if I charge somebody $49, I'm making $38.90.
Nice.
I'm sorry, $48.90. And if the instructors as affiliates, they get half of that. And we usually sell packages of 150, 170 licenses. That's like $6,000. They get half of that. So these guys, I'm giving these guys every opportunity. It is my goal with every one of my instructors to make sure they at least recoup their investment back in the course. And it's either $1,200 for early registration or $1,500 for late registration. And all they have to do is sell one, in-person training or a small block of online courses, and they make all their money back.
Outstanding. That's an outstanding deal. And you're doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Coming through like that and breaking bread with them at 50%. As
protectors, as EP people,
right.
We literally dedicate our lives to protecting our principal.
Absolutely.
So it would be the same feeling if your principal was attacked or they were in a life and death situation and you were able to save their life because of your knowledge and your training and your experience, it's the same feeling. It's just like elate. I mean, how do you beat that except having kids? Right. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's what we do it for. That's outstanding, man. That adds a lot of gravity to everything. So from, I guess, start to finish, somebody wants to get into your program. What are they going to get out of it? You kind of talked about it a little bit, but how long is the course and all that good stuff?
Sure. So for all intents and purposes of this situation with your group, the symposium and your audience, the A.L.I.V.E program is an in-person training program. I also have an online platform that's very popular during COVID, as you can imagine. Absolutely. But I've got what I call the T3, train the trainer, 3 Ts. It's an instructor certification course. It's a 2-day course. It's now all done online because of COVID, which has actually been a blessing. I never wanted to do it online. I thought it wouldn't be the same experience. I was forced to because I was supposed to go do it in New York for 12 guys and gals. And they said, no, you got to quarantine. And I said, I can't do it. So I made it online, and it's been incredibly, incredibly successful. It's a 2-day course all day. I run through all the modules. I teach you how to teach my course. I give every, it's mostly security professionals like us that sign up. I give them a copy of my book. I wrote a book on the topic. And this is, I call it a survival manual. It's basically my my in-person program put in a book. So all of the teachings and all the lessons of A.L.I.V.E are put in the book. You get access to the 3-hour comprehensive online course, and you have to complete these things before you even show up to take the instructor certification course. Nice. And then I'm redundant as hell. I just pound into their heads for 2 days. What is A.L.I.V.E? Why is A.L.I.V.E? How to teach it, the passion. I give them public speaking tips. There's an 1.5-hour portion on marketing from a professional marketing guy. And my students have found that to be incredibly helpful, not just for selling A.L.I.V.E, but selling their core business. If they're an EP guy, they own a security company, they're private investigators, whatever. Yeah. Go over the insurance that you need to have as a practitioner and so forth. And they take a final, and then they graduate. And, I've been doing it for a little over a year now. I've got, 40 some instructors throughout the country. I've got 5 in Australia, if you can believe that. Wow. They don't even have guns really much over there, but they apply the principles of A.L.I.V.E to surviving any violent attack with edge weapons, with baseball bats, whatever. Oh, yeah. And so it's a 2-day course. And when you leave, you are now an A.L.I.V.E certified instructor. When you leave, when it's over, you're now a certified A.L.I.V.E instructor. And it's almost, I hate to say this, but it's truly like a business in a box. I teach you everything you need to go out and literally make the A.L.I.V.E program your own. So if you own a security company and you've ever had a client say, hey, I've got 40 employees or 100 employees, and I'd like them to learn active shooter survival, can you do that? You either have to say no, and nobody wants to turn down, a client that wants to pay you, or right. 2, sure, give me 6 weeks to go develop my own program and come back and hope it doesn't suck. I give you a business. I give you all the support, the marketing material, all the documents, marketing videos, images, the logo, and the PowerPoint I use in my presentation. And you can literally go out on Monday and give the A.L.I.V.E training in person. And once you're an A.L.I.V.E instructor, you automatically become an affiliate. So let's say a client says, I don't want you to teach it in person. We're a culture that we do everything online. No problem. If they sell a block of 100 or 150 or whatever licenses to my online course, they get 50% of that. So that could be $3,000 or $4,000 to them, and they don't do anything but refer the person to me. They go in the back office. We run a commission report every month and send them a check. Nice. It's not a bad deal.
No, it's not a bad deal, man. It really sounds like you kind of put the whole entire package together, and then with your passion and your efficiency and your reputation, I'm excited. I'm really excited to be able to bring this to those inside of the Protected Nation and that are coming to this event.